Forward on the program this morning, so I'd like to invite Child and Family Guidance. Come on up. Bill?
Guidance.
Look at that.
Anyone else want to come up? You're welcome to. Come on up. Okay, Mike, we are so proud to be partnered with you and have you as our beneficiary for the Reservoir Fund this year. You went above and beyond, as you said, the whole team with us to the event. They worked water stations, they helped me hand out medals to the half marathons. People, as they were coming in, we had a spectacular day, as you know, and we are grateful for all the help and support you gave us. We hope that we can help us again. But we're really happy to have you.
Stop eating.
And I'd like to introduce Bill Barron, who is our foundation, Kiwanis Foundation president, and he's going to do it.
It's our pleasure to give you a check for $12,000. $100 or more coming with a couple of ambiguities that be solved in the next short time. But there's
Thank you so
a
much.
check for you.
Thank you so much.
And I also want to have Tom Glass. There's Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Tom was, of course, a member of the foundation trustees, but he also, along with a couple of other people, at least several people, he was the one who had been more responsible than anybody else to bring this wonderful group not only to our attention, but you visited them, spent a long time getting to know them, and you're getting a chance to know us. So that's been, I think, a wonderful relationship and with a wonderful result for us, and I think also for you. So thank you.
Thank you.
We look forward to being with you in the future.
Just quickly, I've been notorious on missing a lot of events. 2 dog shows and the Reservoir Run. Michael and Kate not only stepped in, but they brought a lot of their people to help run our race for us at that point. They kind of took my place, and they did a hell of a lot better job than I could have done, so I'm glad I didn't make it.
I would never comment on that.
Thank you so much. We can't thank you enough for this donation. We look forward to attending again next year. Okay, thank you so much.
This is such a generous gift. We're just so grateful. You all do a lot of work and you're all volunteers. That's amazing. And we're just so thankful. We can't wait to show you how it's going to be put to use for kids and families. So,
Great.
So we'd like to be able to turn this over to you. So
We have to
a little
say,
presentation.
don't come down with it. You want to do
Oh, we have to do a picture.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, let's do like the official picture.
Yeah.
Stand right there. Do we understand the medal here? Because we have the bronze table.
Great.
We have it all back. Okay, perfect.
Tom, you're gonna
Tom, how about you?
Well done. You're more photogenic than
The only time I'm allowed to stand in front of the video camera, folks. Otherwise, the book is going to push me right out of the way. Everybody can step forward. Now nobody's getting hit with the projector. We're getting it right in the face. All right, 1, 2.
She's in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let me turn over the microphone.
You're going to go over. Yeah.
I'll go there.
I'm going to CC you.
Yes, so
Yes. Frank, pay attention, I signed you up there.
Okay, great. All right, I'll just give a quick intro before I give it over to Michael. So as you can see, we're really going to be using this funding to respond to the children's mental health crisis in Fairfield County. That's probably a term you're hearing a lot about in the news lately, and we're so grateful that it's come to the forefront. And we're going to show you real ways that we're expanding and how this funding will help us do that successfully to kind of meet those needs. And for those who weren't here the last time that I was here, I'm just going to let Michael give an overview of kind of who we are and what we do.
Thank you so much, Slide.
please. I was here just under 3 years ago, in April 2019. At that point, we were talking about kids, the overwhelming number of children in emergency rooms. Over the last 2.5 years, they've been exacerbated by, particularly by the pandemic. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, but the theme of the discussion 2.5 years ago was an emergency room is nowhere for a kid to get treatment. Kids are lagging in emergency rooms. They're not getting treatment in emergency rooms. And in effect, the situation has become much, much worse for kids in emergency rooms. I was testifying yesterday before the Children's Committee, and one of the persons giving testimony said that there were 36 kids stuck in emergency rooms waiting to be transitioned out of an emergency room to a therapeutic center, but there are no places for kids to go to get treatment in the state of Connecticut. So this is we talk about crisis, this is a crisis. So again, we've had a chance over the last 3 years to provide a lot of treatment to kids. So we provide treatment to about 3,000 kids a year. We focus on what are called trauma treatments. These are treatments that help. The majority of kids who come through our doors have experienced some form of trauma, either community violence, witnessing domestic violence, physical abuse, or sexual abuse. We provide trauma treatments that are successful in restoring kids to their prior level of care. How do we know that? We have 2 scales that we use, outcome scales. One is the problem severity scale. Is the problem better after they complete treatment? And functioning, are they functioning at a higher level than they were when they came into us? Those are scales that the state of Connecticut uses. We score very, very high in those. We have a team of about 120 therapists, clinicians, psychiatrists, APRNs who provide really selfless care to over 3,000 children throughout Fairfield County. So we provide a continuum of care, everything from outpatient mental health and substance abuse treatment, crisis intervention services, which is a team of clinicians who go out into the community. This is a program that was developed to, I think, intercept kids from going to an emergency room. So the idea is you assess them and you get them community treatment so they don't have to go to an emergency room. We see about 1,500 kids a year, right? That number has doubled in the course of the last 6 months. So again, our team are dedicated but also tired, stressed, and shorthanded. We've had a number of people who have left. It's no different than any other organization. Very, very difficult to attract really dedicated people. I think it's important to know, we were just talking about it, we're doing very well financially, so that over the course of the last 3 years, we've had a surplus. We've done that through kind of diligent fundraising and cutting expenses as we were able to. So we're financially sound, which is not, it's unusual for a lot of nonprofits to be financially sound in the current environment. In Weston, mobile crisis calls have been up over the course of the last 6 months. These are kids who experience some form of crisis, either behavioral crisis or psychiatric crisis. Team goes out primarily to schools here in Weston, assess the child and make sure that if they don't need to go to an emergency room, they're going to get some kind of community treatment. So, Department of Children and Families came to us and they said, look, what can you do to help alleviate the crush of kids in emergency rooms? So, one area where this funding is going to go is to support the intensive transition care coordination program, moving kids out of an emergency room and finding an appropriate treatment location for them in the community. So that's one area where we're going to be spending some of this money.
Next slide, please. So in addition to crisis, we just want to share with you guys a few other ways that we'll be using this funding, and it's through new programs that we launched. So in addition to the crisis care coordination, which is brand new, we're just in the process of launching it, so we're going to put this funding forward. We have our home visiting partnership that really got off the ground in January, really, a little before then. But so this is a great program that provides prenatal and postpartum support to mothers. It engages with young fathers. We have a fatherhood liaison that we're actually looking to hire right now that is specifically working with fathers. And it really takes, as Michael was talking about, a trauma-informed approach. And what that means is, a lot of times if a young family is struggling, you know, there's generational traumas there. There's things that the parents endured that then they may pass down. And so we really take that lens in looking to help that family and make early interventions that then lead to healthier children in the long run. We monitor and educate around child development and family health, and there's also this piece of the program that is meeting basic and emotional needs. I think the last time I was here, I shared with you, who wants to talk about child development when your electricity has been shut off, right? So in this program, we have a way to help meet those needs of families that may come up. And it's not a handout, it's helping them build a system and a support system so that they don't run into these problems in the future and that they can build a stronger support system. So we're really proud of that. Actually, these photos are from a Winter Wonderland photo shoot that our staff hosted for the families in this program back around the holidays. Just kind of one of the things that they do. So we're very excited about this program. It's really expanded. And the team is great because we're all adults. Nobody likes being told what to do, right? And I think that our staff is really good at meeting a family, building trust, seeing where they can help, and you know, being an advocate for that family and focusing on the strengths that every family has. So that's what's really unique about this program. Next slide, please. In addition to that, we've also launched another new program called STRIVE, which is Substance Screening Treatment and Recovery for Youth. So this works with children as young as 13 years old who may be struggling emotionally and with substance use. So they've likely gotten in trouble at school or at home for substance use, and we also know that there's more going on emotionally and psychologically. So they get referred to our program. So what's exciting with STRIVE, it's building upon a program we already had, but we're going to have a larger presence in Greater Norwalk now, which is great, and we're getting those referrals. We also have a bilingual, bicultural team, which is so important nowadays. This is just really an incredible team, and in addition to that, you know, it's hard to get young kids engaged in this kind of thing, and this team is really good at, again, building trust, making it a positive environment. You know, we got an email last year from one of the graduates of the original form of this program that said, "Thank you for helping me. I got into college and I'm the first in my family to do so, to be going to college, and I was getting drunk at school, and you guys really turned things around for me, and I was struggling with that. It was unmanageable." So it's just a really incredible program, and we're so excited about how this has expanded. Next screen, please. Next slide, please. And this is just us at the Kiwanis run. We had such a great time, and as Michael said, so those are the three areas we're really focusing this funding on: crisis support, our home visiting partnership with young kids and young families, and our substance use co-occurring treatment programs.
So if I could, the challenge for a lot of nonprofits in Connecticut is funding from the state does not cover the full cost of the service, right? So if it weren't for funding, like the one that you're providing to us, we've gotten funding from Fairfield County's Community Foundation, from this town of Fairfield. Without that support, we would not be able to complete our mission. So we can't thank you enough for this donation.
Wonderful for us to understand how you're helping children in the area and where the money is going. So we are so happy because we can clearly see that what we do makes an impact.
Yes.
Right? By supporting people who are able to deploy what's needed for families and children who are struggling with mental
And these are
health.
board members. So we came, rounded up a bunch of board members and said, we need to do this, and they were more than
Well, we
happy to
had
do
such
it.
a great day.
Yeah,
Really,
so-
we had so much fun.
We were on the hill giving out water.
I was at the medal, so I was fine with that.
Hey Denise, who's the woman with those shades there?
I don't think she's still on because she had yoga and boca at 9:30 this morning. Yoga and
No,
boca.
I'm
she's
here. So you watch me walk, and that's why I'm off video. But I'm here.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're there, Lisa, and you can see the picture of you with all those medals. And it's not because Lisa ran the race, because she didn't. We just handed the stuff out. So as a tradition, you probably have some of these already, but now you have more. I have Kiwanis mugs. You can have them at your office in the morning, or networks by. Thank you, and I really appreciate your partnership, and thank you so much for doing this today. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I do.
Phyllis?
I'm curious how you get your referrals.
Our primary source of referrals is from the school system. So it's depending on the program. So we get a lot of referrals from schools. We get a lot of referrals from parents. We get referrals from people who know parents who have had a good experience with us. That's really a very good way to get referrals, particularly in Latino communities, right, where there's a level of trust that says, I had a really good experience with Kate, call her. It's not necessarily call the Child and Family Guidance Center, but call Kate. It's a sense of trusting relationships, building. So it's schools, police, it's DCF, and parents are our primary source of referrals.
Thank you. Any other questions?
You're going to deliver? Thank you.
I got it.
You got that?
I'm gonna get my exercise today.
Well, I'm glad I'm here this time for your presentation, so thank you very much. I happened to notice, because when I was looking into the background of your organization, there are a lot of organizations throughout the country with the same name.
Right.
Are you part of a national organization, or is it just coincidence that it's the same name? You know, I was surprised when I saw these.
We're not affiliated with another organization. We're one of the oldest child guidance clinics in the country. Will be 100 in 2 years. It was founded by, with the assistance of Clifford Beers, who was instrumental in the humane treatment of folks with mental illness. So we're one of the oldest, but you're right. I think that we need to consider rebranding or doing something.
I know.
It's confusing for a lot of folks.
I'm not the only one. I thought it was just me.
No, that question lasts a long time.
I mean, that's what we interact with. They could have been serving Woody when he was a child.
Do we have
But
any?
when you talk about when he was a child, Bob Sinto.
Oh, Bob Sinter, who's a big developer in the Shelton-Trumbull area, he is a graduate of ours. So
We like to say he's a graduate. He likes to say he's a graduate.
yeah, so we do. We have some of those community connections, which are really nice. It's like I was a really angry kid, and I came to the Child Guidance Center, and they helped me. And now his daughter is the chair of our board, so that's a nice connection. Yeah.
So just as an aside, I know that you are in the process of like looking to hire some folks. Can you just tell us a little bit about the types of people that you're looking for in case anyone here knows someone that
Of course. We hire a lot of social workers, folks with master's degrees. About half of our staff have master's degrees or above. So master's in social work, child, family and therapy, licensed counselors. That's the brunt of what we do. But we also hire a lot of, in our care management programs, care coordination, community support for families, we hire a lot of very young people. Many of them, it's their first work experience. So if you know a young person who wants to cut their teeth and to figure out whether social services is right for them, please feel free to check out our website. We have postings all the time on the website, or contact me. I've got some cards. I'm more than happy to share them with you.
Excellent. And for your internship program, like how many interns do you take on?
We have a lot of interns in our child guidance clinic. We probably do over 25 over the course of a year. In our clinic, we see a lot of inner city kids. If you have, and they do really good work, again, trauma work. I'll tell the story quickly one more time. Our trauma work consists of talking at times, very painful detail about what happened to you. Sexual abuse, physical abuse. Did you witness something, right? So I don't know if there are any Red Sox fans here. I know we're in the wrong area, but I'm in the right age group. So Carlton Fisk hit a very, very famous home run in the World Series. That's exactly what he did. So he guided the ball fair in the World Series. I don't know if you remember. It's a very vivid image. And someone asked him once, how often do you talk about it and do you think about it? And he said, I talk about it as little as possible because I want to keep it fresh in my mind. Narrative therapy, trauma therapies are the opposite of that. You want the child to talk about it, what happened to them at times in excruciating detail, so they're able to process it. And in that way, you in some ways alleviate what's happened to you psychically. So again, that's what we do. It's, as you can imagine, it's very, very stressful for a clinician, right? We have very dedicated people. But to hear one of those stories over and over, you figure 5 children in the course of a day, we run the course of risking burnout of clinicians. It's really selfless work, the work that they're doing.
Wow, interesting.
Thank you. And so what will, I'm going to put Victoria on the spot here. What will Victoria be doing for you?
So Victoria's interested in finance, so we're going to see if we can find her some tasks with our finance department, as Michael said, which isn't very good at condition right now.
Right.
And she's going to be helping me in development as well. So we have some fundraising initiatives that we'll be doing in the spring, including we hope an event in person. So Victoria can help out with that.
Excellent. We've been kidnapped.
I don't know how to raise a hand. I'm really inept.
yes,
Can I
yes.
ask a question?
Yes. Go for it.
Hi, I'm sorry I'm not there. First of all, I want to give a shout out and say that our probate court of Weston and Westport has also referred families that need child guidance, and I will just tell you first person, I know what an unbelievably impactful, positive difference you've made in Weston families, because I've made the referrals and the proof is in the pudding, and I know some of these families now for years, and it's because of the counseling at Mid-Fairfield Child Guidance that these kids are on track. So I want to thank you, because I know that you're doing the work. But I also wanted to ask you, is there an age at which you don't take new patients? I say this because the cutoff of 18, unfortunately, we have a lot of young people chronologically older than the age of 18 who really need your services. And I see a lot of them at St. Vincent's Behavioral Health, which is now Hartford Health in Westport. And I'm wondering if you will take patients that are over the age of 18 that are in those inpatient settings. I'll go on mute, sorry.
Thank you for your question. It's a good question. It comes up all the time. We don't provide services to kids over 18. There's a program called Young Adult Services, which is sponsored by the state, and they'll provide outpatient therapy, psychiatric care for that age group. Our mission is to provide services to kids up to the age of 18.
Thank you, Lisa. Enjoy your walk.
That's where Harry goes.
But what we do is we frequently have children who are 18 with us and are transitioning out of systems. Many of them are in DCF foster care, and they don't want to have anything to do with any kind of social services after that. But if they are, we then do what's called a kind of a smooth handoff to another provider. One of the things that I hear all the time is, I'm trying to get my child into treatment, I'm trying to get my grandchild into the treatment, but there are waiting lists. I can't get them into a center. We don't have a waiting list. I want to make that very, very clear. There are 21 child guidance clinics who are called enhanced care clinics across the state.
There are no waiting lists at any of these clinics. So if a child needs outpatient treatment, they need medication management, please call and they will get a first appointment depending on their level of need, either within 2 days or 2 weeks. So there are no more waiting lists in child guidance clinics. Private practice therapists have long waiting lists. I would say the quality of our treatment is second to none. If you have a child, a grandchild, or know of someone who needs treatment, don't hesitate to refer to us.
Excellent. All right, so.
I'm sorry, one other question if I could. Is there sort of an average tenure that you treat your patients for? I'm sure some of them are probably shorter and some are probably...
We call that a length of stay.
Length of
So,
stay.
right. So depending on the program. So some programs are up to 6 months, and then you can extend it beyond that. Outpatient treatment is generally, if you're in one of our trauma treatments, is 26 sessions, right? So that you go and it's a course of 26 sessions, and essentially you're done, so you're not going to therapy for the rest of your life. You've returned to your prior level of functioning. Again, it's 26 sessions, and hopefully, unless you have something else that comes along in your life, have returned to your prior level of functioning. It's very important for kids to get trauma treatment. Untreated trauma results in a lot of problems in childhood and again in later adulthood. There's a lot of connection to depression, anxiety in adulthood, diabetes in adulthood, obesity in adulthood. There's a fantastic book, it's called The Deepest Well. I would encourage you to read it. It talks a lot about that, about what happens when kids are untreated and then they become adults and they have recurring medical and psychiatric problems later on in life.
Yeah, so that's heavy stuff, but what you do is just so important.
Yeah,
And you guys
It fits in exactly with our mission, which is to help children in need, and this is something that occurs in every town, including ours, no matter how affluent. So just really, really important work, so I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We're so grateful to have you guys as partners in this. Thank
We
you.
hope we'll have you come back.